Next, we're going to be looking a little at the low back and as well as the hips, and kind of working on those two together. So we're going to start off in a hip 90-90 position to kind of warm the hips up. So we're going to start here. We're going to do dynamic side to side for a total of 12 or 6 to each side. Just like usual, try to keep this leg down as long as you can while you're opening up. Once you can't go any farther, then keep them spread as far as you can as you rotate. Bring one down, sit up as tall as you can, and repeat back to the other side. Try to keep your core nice and tight if you can. If you can't in this position, go ahead and lean on back, and that'll allow your hips to open up a little bit more. So we're going to do 12 total, or 6 on each side. So let's start. Keep this front leg down, open up. Good. The other one come with it now. Spread the legs as far as we can though. Always keep them spread as far as we can. Good. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Remember, try to stay as upright as possible. Spread those knees as far as we can. Good. 11. Last one. And 12. Okay, we're going to stay in this position. I want you to open up with this back leg. Come to like a bear sit position. You're going to bring your left leg out as far as you can, and your right leg out as far as we can into a straddle position. From here, we're going to be working on our spinal cars. So we're just going to do 3 in each direction. So just to give you guys a reminder, we're going to come down as far as we can, rotate, side bend, extend back as far as we can, side bend, rotate, and back to that flex position. That's half, and then we're going to do one more round, or one back, and that's a total of 1. We're going to do 3 total. You'll find in this position, it's going to allow less movement of your back, so it's going to be just a little bit harder, especially on that extension component. If you really need to, and you're not getting much movement, you can bring your legs closer together, but try to keep them spread out there. Okay, so we're going to start here. Flex down, rotate, side bend, extend back. As you're extending, we're going to be side bending here, rotating. Good. That's half, so we're going to rotate the other way, side bend away, extend, down here, rotate back to the middle. 1. We're going to stay flexed to the side, side bend, extend, side bend back, rotate, good, and rotate, side bend, extend as you come back around, side bend here, rotate, and back. That's 2. We're going to do one more. Rotate to the left, side bend, extend back, bring it down, and all the way back around. Remember, make it as wide a circle as we can, and repeat. So rotate, side bend, extend back, side bend, and there. You may feel a lot of tension, especially kind of in the mid-back, trying to extend up. It's really going to help on that kind of upright posture and getting that back moving. Now we're going to go into a cat-cow variation. Previous this month, We did a cat-cow variation, but with the upper back. Now we're going to do one with the lower back because that's more connected with the hips. So we're going to do 10 of the cat-cows, right? So that's 1 up and 1 down. That's going to be 1. Specifically for the lumbar version, what we're going to be doing is getting a regular quadruped position. From this position, you keep your hands stable. You're going to come right onto your elbows. Hold your elbows there. Kind of bring your head down in between your hands. Flex up. This is going to flex your neck as well as your thoracic spine, so it's going to make it more difficult to move from those areas and more predominantly to move from the low back. So we're going to do 10 each side, so get into the position there. And just try to be rotating at the pelvis so you're just moving your back. So arch. Round. 1. You're going to get movement elsewhere, but try to make it only come from the low back. 2. Learning to control your low back without moving other parts of your body is a key for good back health. 3. 4. 5. 6. Remember, try to go as far as you can in each direction as long as it's pain-free. 7. 8. 9. Last one. And 10. Come out of that position there. Like I said before, making sure you're being able to move or disassociate your pelvis from other parts of your body is super important for back health and just overall function. So that's going to be a great one to practice, especially if you felt like you weren't getting a lot of movement in that kind of low back pelvis area. Just keep practicing. It'll come as you kind of get that better connection with your actual body and learn how to move those areas. Next, we're going to be going into a hip flexor stretch. So we're going to come up on one knee. Key for this one is really the setup. So what we want to be doing, come up nice and tall. If you're getting to this position, either you have really flexible hip flexors or you're not doing it correctly. So what I want you to do, come here, squeeze the butt, try to tuck your pelvis under you. If you're able to move your pelvis good enough and really tuck it under you, you may already feel a stretch right there. So we really want to lock it in, tuck your pelvis under you, nice flat back. Lean forward if you need just to get a little stretch. We're going to hold this position for 1 minute. So you don't want it to be too intense of a stretch, just a nice little stretch that you can actually feel. So we're going to hang out here. Remember, back should be flat, butt tucked under. No arching of the back. That's not what we're looking for. When you arch your back, you actually put your hip flexors on slack. So we really want to make sure that we're tensing them. So we're not arching in the back. That's going to create compression in the back. Just get that nice stretch here. After the minute is up, which I will let you guys know, we're going to be doing the same position here, holding tight, but then we're just going to be kind of reaching as far as we can towards the side where the knee is up on. But I'll let you know, we're going to just do 5 of those. That's going to come after the minute. So you still have about 15 seconds here. Three, 2, 1. So we're going to rotate, or reach over, sorry, as far as you can. 1. Keep that same tuck position at the pelvis. You should feel a stretch kind of on the outside here. 2. It's also just good to build this active control and lateral flexion. 3. 2 more. 4. And again. Okay, we're going to switch sides now. So opposite legs coming up. Same thing, find that position, tuck. Lean forward if you can until you feel that nice little stretch there. Really focus if you are finding yourself leaning real far forward. Really focus on squeezing that glute hard, tucking that pelvis so you don't have to do that. Or if you just have really flexible hip flexors, feel free to go a little farther into that movement. This is a good stretch for your hip flexors. I know many people stretch the hip flexors every day. Lots of times the reason they are so tight is because they're weak. So the last exercise we're going to be doing here is actually really good for strengthening your hip flexors, and it'll make a big change in a lot of people. So definitely give that one a try. Got 15 seconds left. Okay, we're going to reach now as far as we can. Good. 1. 2. 3. 4. Last one. And 5. Okay, the next one we're going to be going into is a little bit of a hip extension work. So we're going to need a tennis ball for this one in particular. Right, we stretch the hip flexors. Now we're going to actively use the muscles on the other side to actively improve that range that we were just working on. So we're going to come here. You're going to grab a tennis ball. You're going to place it right between your in the back of your knee. You're going to squeeze hard on that. It's going to help fire those hamstrings. From this position, we're just going to be lifting up as far as we can while keeping our pelvis actually on the ground. If you put your hand right underneath your hip, you'll feel a bone right there. It's called your ASIS. That'll stay on the ground the whole time while we do this movement. If you find you're raising up way too far, right, so my pelvis is off, that's not what we're looking for with this one. We're going to hold for 5 seconds. We're going to do 12 total. So try to keep a nice neutral spine. So really engage your core on this one as well. Okay, and lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Make sure you guys are squeezing that tennis ball. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Squeeze the ball, squeeze the glutes. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Keep squeezing that ball. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 11. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12. If you guys get a cramp in that hamstring, that's okay. Just kind of shake it out and keep going. We're going to switch right over to the other side. Put the ball behind the knee. Get a nice squeeze. Engage the core so we're not arching in our back. Keep that pelvis down. And lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. You guys keep your head down. It usually helps with maintaining a flexed or just non-extended spine as well. And lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze that ball. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. You should feel it in your hamstring and your glutes. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 11. Last one. Lift off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12. Next one, guys, we are going to need a band. This is one of my favorite exercises for anyone with tight hip flexors and also people that are complaining of kind of like a snapping hip or pain in the front of the hip. This is one of my go-to exercises. Any band will work, especially a lighter band for this one's usually pretty good because most people are a little weaker in this position. This band's a little heavy, so it may be a little more difficult. But essentially what we're gonna do, come into tabletop position, keep the core, or your back flat on the ground the whole time. One leg is gonna stay up as the other leg kicks out. So this leg's really working on your hip flexor. This one's challenging your core. The farther you go out, the more your back is gonna wanna arch. It's key that you keep your back nice and flat. If that is too hard and you find you're always arching, just kick more upright, and that's gonna decrease the strain. We're gonna do 10 times on each side for a total of 20. So we'll get into position here, and down. 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3, 4, and 4, 5, and 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 2 more, 9, 9, 10, and 10. That's what I like to call a psoas march, guys. One of the best exercises that I like to do for anything hip flexor or in the front of the hip related. Definitely give it a try if that's something you struggle with, or tight hip flexors. Do it much more often. But overall, it's really going to help strengthen. Try it out. You can even try to do 1 or 2 sets and then try to test your whatever you feel limited in with your hip flexors and see if it helps. Sometimes just that initial little strengthening gives a little signal to your brain. It's not going to last forever, but it's a good start to know that you're on the right track there. Give that a try. Let me know what you guys think.